Let's go. Leland Live, talking to 5 Alabama Bass, first up this hour. That's the whole team over there. This company's been around for 4 decades, taking care of folks, family business, and they're ready to help you too. John and Jill and the whole team. Y'all, their price is better than the big corporate competitors. Their product is better. Their pressure is non existent. They just don't do that. That's not a good way to do business. That's how you stay around 40 years. You can't be trapping people into a purchase. Y'all don't fall for that either. Somebody tries to get in your house and make you buy something like this. Don't do it. Take your time, get it right. Let Alabama Bass handle it. It'll be beautiful. You'll feel safer. You'll get around better. You'll get your independence back, and you'll do it with people that'll, I swear to you, will become friends when the project's done. One thing to note in my conversation with John, I think it was last week, is that we used to talk a lot about veterans and your benefits. There are programs that the VA might pay for this upgrade to your home if you got a service connected disability, even years ago, because some of those things and disabilities can manifest where you lose mobility. And if you're eligible, it takes a minute. Y'all know how the VA is. You got to get through the process. Alabama Bass, John's a veteran. He gets it, man. They will take their time with you. Some of their competitors are not going to waste time. They want an instant sale. These guys they'll hold your hand all the way through it. They'll tell you what they know about it, work with the VA if necessary to get this done, get you a good price that's acceptable, and get that install done so you get your life back. It's just a great company. Now, if you want to see one of these build outs, you can go down to Pelham and take a look. They've got a nice, beautiful build out and see how nice they look. They'll improve your home in most cases, and especially the way it feels and the way how safe it is in that very slippery space. It's alabamabass.com, alabamabass.com. All right, we got a traffic update. Let me jump to that real quick, and then we'll get to some other things. Lucas is up next. What's up, Lucas?
Hey man, coming back from Huntsville today, and 65 North is stopped just before you get to Alford. There's
Yeah.
a car in the fast lane that looks to be broke down or has a flat tire or something.
Okay, let's do that locator again. 65 northbound. What's the mile marker again?
I'm heading south,
I'm trying to guess that. Let me
it's
let me see if I can look at
between
it real
Alford
around Alford. Okay,
and Highway 31. Yeah,
gotcha, man. Hey, I appreciate that, Lucas. That's very helpful. Yeah, I
no
see it
problem.
now on the. It's just past. Looks like just past the Alford exit, right there on 65 North. After you get past the 459 interchange. No, that's actually
Yeah.
right around 31. So it's backed up toward 459. Good call, Lucas. That's how you do it, my friend. Lucas taking care of business this afternoon tonight. Let me address something I just heard. Sometimes I actually do listen to the commercial breaks instead of running to the bathroom, and I just heard Andrea Tice's 1819 update. And I'm going to give you a little backstory on this, and y'all got to be really sophisticated when it comes to election time. Now, I told JD Hudson, Jared Hudson was on with me yesterday, and I told him I really think this is going to be a low turnout election. There's not a single one of these candidates that's like super inspirational. Even Tuberville, if a lot of Tuberville fans in the audience, but he doesn't have any real opposition in the primary, so we don't have this red hot governor's race. And then you've got a AG's race, which has gotten super nasty. Uh, it's by the way that anyway, I'll get into some of the details on that later. And the Senate race it's an interesting race. It's been a positive race. It's still kind of a jump ball as to who's going to finish up into the primary. And suddenly you've got this money coming in to attack Jared Hudson. I think they feel him as a threat in the primary, and on we go. The only other weird statewide race. Have you heard this commercial where they're faking a Bill Clinton voice? We just played it a couple of breaks ago. Some woman running for ag commissioner, and she's overall got a good spot, but for some random reason they do a Bill Clinton impersonation in the middle of the spot, and I thought, wait, he hadn't been relevant in 30 years. Like, I know it's funny, and we do it too, but it just doesn't belong in that spot. I'm being a spot critic. I'm being nitpicky. And otherwise, the young lady has this 5 point plan. And some of the points are good, but there's one line in there, AJ, that I almost can't listen to the spot. I'm tempted to have you play the spot so that we can hear what I'm talking about. I'm going to try to paraphrase it. Do you know who I'm talking about? Do you see it on the log? It played like 2 breaks ago.
Let me look.
Somebody running for ag commissioner. Anyway, and pardon me for not knowing the details. I am going to drill down on the ballot and do my ballot review on Monday, as is a tradition here on the show. I don't tell y'all who to vote for, but I'm honest enough to tell you who I'm voting for, and we'll talk about that. And y'all can, of course, call in and we get comments. It's always a fun show in the lull right before an election. But there's a line in this lady's spot where she's talking about people on food stamps buying Alabama farm grade chickens instead of margarita mix, but she didn't put it that way. And it sounds like people are buying, they're using margarita mix to pay for their chicken. I'm like, who wrote that? Why? If they could send it to me and I'd edit it for them. It's a terrible spot. Did you see the spot?
Well, I think I found it.
All right, listen. First, there's a random Bill Clinton for no reason. Then there's a fake Trump impersonator, which is so gratuitous. I'm about to vomit. I challenge any Republican in the state to run without mentioning Trump. I love Trump, but stop it. You're not Trump. Trump doesn't know you. He didn't know any of these people. He might know Tuberville. He didn't know the rest of these people. I mean, even Barry Moore. I mean, everybody likes Barry. The people I know like Barry. But last week, the Trump administration put out an endorsement of him used to put him in the wrong office. They had him running for re-election in the House. They don't know his ass. Anyway, so here's the spot. Can you hear it? Can we play it?
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Okay, pause right there. Now I know it's McGinnis for Alabama. Let's do a spot breakdown, AJ. No, this may be the wrong one. I hear Trump first. Go for it.
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Hillary, I'm really feeling my pain. I sure could use a 5-point plan right now.
I'm Christina Warner McInnes, and we all need the 5-point plan for Alabama farms and families. Better food security. They should be able to buy Alabama rotisserie chicken with SNAP benefits, not margarita mix.
All right, stop right
Guide
there.
more farmers to the millions of dollars in grants they deserve. Protect our.
We're buying Alabama rotisserie chicken with margarita mix. That's what it sounded like to me. They didn't say it right. They didn't say instead of they should be able to buy rotisserie chicken instead of margarita mix with their SNAP benefits. Instead, they put the margarita at the end. Play that one more time. And then why the hell is Bill Clinton involved in this?
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Hillary.
Her uncle was an impersonator. This is why this
I'm really feeling my pain. I sure could use a 5-point plan right now.
I'm Christina Warner McInnes, and we all need the 5-point plan for Alabama farms and families. Better food security. They should be able to buy Alabama rotisserie chicken with SNAP benefits, not margarita mix. Guide more farmers to the millions of dollars in grants they deserve.
So people are currently getting by on margarita mix
for
rotisserie chicken.
And promote sweet-grown Alabama.
And then she throws in a fake Trump at the end. Listen to this crap.
More Alabama food on the plates of our schools and home. It's time to tell the politicians in Montgomery, same old is not working for us.
Christina Warner McInnes for Agriculture.
I haven't asked the big guy yet, but I have a feeling he'll like the plan.
This 5-point plan is huge, very special. And believe me, I know the 5-point plan. And all the other 5-point plans are horrible, probably made in China.
All right, so you had an impersonator do both, right?
China. It's so funny because it's the same guy who did the Bill Clinton voice.
Exactly.
That did the Trump voice.
They paid him $35 and he sent him a clip. But here's the thing, though. I'll give the woman this credit. She's got a pleasant voice and whatnot, but and it was a little bit entertaining. But her association with Trump with an impersonator is no more fake than every other spot I've seen this cycle with Trump in it. Am I wrong? They're not any closer to Trump than she is. At least she used to fake Trump. You got some guy running for something the other day. Trump mentions him at a dinner 7 years ago because he was in town and they were on a list and it's in the spot. It's just so stupid. As if people are dumb enough to write in the record, oh, well, he must be bros. I bet he got. Anyway, can we go to the phones? Let's go to Edwin on a cell phone. Edwin, what's up?
Hi, guys. I live on Shades Mountain,
Yep.
and I heard you guys talking about Terry Sewell last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm not into politics, but it piqued my curiosity, so I got on the federal website, put in my address, and it's Terry Sewell is my representative. I thought it was Gary, that guy Gary.
Yeah.
So what do? Do I vote Democrat against her, or what would you do? Or wait,
Well,
I don't know.
It's not
I'm shocked.
It's not going to matter because what they're doing is leaving everything on the ballot like it is, and then they're going to have, quote, a special election when they change the districts, and that election will determine who goes in the general. So it's this convoluted, stupid process that Kay Ivey and those idiots down in Montgomery left us with. You could get drawn out of that district by the time they're done with the special election. So you got to wait on the map, really.
I could get drawn out?
Well, what I'm saying is they're going to move the district lines for 1, 2, 6, and 7. You're in 7 right now. So they may move the line. If they move that line around, say, Shades Mountain, for some reason, then you may not be in that district. You'll be voting for a completely different congressperson. On
should
August
I vote
11th.
Tuesday or no?
Well, we're all going to the polls to vote for the statewide offices and the other races. I would go to the polls and go ahead and vote, have a say there. You could probably skip the primary part of the ballot as it relates to the Congress until we find out what happens on August the 11th.
Well, further down to Shades Crest Road on Shades Mountain, it's all Terry Sewell.
Yeah.
But I was shocked. I live in Bluff Park.
They're probably trying to get all that. Well, there are a bunch of Democrat voters in Bluff Park, and they're trying to scoop that into all the black neighborhoods just on the other side of Shades Mountain down toward Bessemer, and they probably just drew the line right down Shades Crest Road.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
now who's the guy that I'm talking about? Gary somebody.
Gary Palmer?
That's who I thought we had, but I'm wrong.
Well, their districts abut each other, and you're going to see a lot of this if people thought they knew who their congressperson was. If you're living on one of those roads, on one of those lines. I think a few years back I had the same thing. My neighbor across the street was in one district. I was in the other. That's the nature of the lines. They don't always follow county lines or city lines. And that's the problem with gerrymandering. Her district is widely gerrymandered. It's unconstitutional. The state ought to have the balls to redraw all 7 districts and make it correct, but they didn't have the balls, so now we're all left in this limbo.
Okay, so I'm going to go Tuesday and vote for statewide positions.
Vote for everything else on the ballot except for those 4 congressional districts. In your case, it's District 6 and 7. You're in 7. You may wind up in 6. You may stay in 7. And then come August, you'll get a chance to go do a do-over and vote for who you want for.
Oh, great. Thanks. I'm glad I called.
Thanks, man. Or who you're stuck with. That's a good call, Edwin, because a lot of folks are going to be in that dilemma come Tuesday because, again, they fumbled it down in the legislature. Now, that brings it all up again. Haven't even talked about it an hour and 20 minutes. Starting to make my blood pressure go up. I'll walk back through some of the points today in the news, both for Alabama and our neighboring states, because every state's got a different situation as to whether or not they're going to get these maps redrawn. We'll walk through some of that here in just a minute. Axiom Tax Resolution Group, just think about this. You're paying for all of this bad government and this waste, fraud, and abuse we've been talking about straight out of your paycheck. And if you don't give them the money they demand, they'll come after you big time. And in a hard way, they will come after you. Axiom Tax Resolution Group is there to help you with this. It's a defenseless feeling when your own government is harassing you, trying to take things out of your life and freeze you in place and harass you out of money. You may not even know it. You may owe it. You don't know. And even if you owe it, there are programs that you can use to settle for less, and they're not going to tell you about it. They're not going to tell you about it. It's Axiom Tax Resolution Group. Perry Cronin knows more about this than most anybody in the country, and we're lucky to have such an expert here in Birmingham who can sit down with us. Some of these things are personal. I like to do things like this in a personal way. Let Perry help. He'll get you some relief. He'll walk you through what your options are. You may be surprised at where the law may benefit you, and you can go to sleep at night again and get this off your back with Perry's help. He's so local, his phone number has got the 205 area code in it. It's 205tax.com, 205tax.com. The phone number is 872-1100, Axiom Tax Resolution Group.
Leland live on Talk 99.5.
Alabama's law enforcement leaders put their lives on the line every single day. They need an attorney general who has their back. Katherine Robertson has spent a decade on the front lines of Alabama's toughest battles. She doesn't bend, she doesn't back down, and she doesn't play politics. As attorney general, she'll make sure violent offenders are locked up and stay locked up. That's why sheriffs and police chiefs from every corner of this state are proudly standing behind Katherine Robertson for attorney general.
This is Katherine Robertson. I am honored to earn the trust of law enforcement. I've spent my career fighting for Alabama families, and I'm just getting started. I'll stand with President Trump to deport violent illegals and ensure our law enforcement has the support they need. Because in Alabama, if you commit a crime, you pay for it. No excuses. Visit KatherineForAG.com to join the fight.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 50063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This report is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You think a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt is the worst that could happen until you get in a crash. Suddenly, a ticket doesn't seem so bad. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Well, we have a wreck on 280 East before Riverview Road. We have stop-and-go traffic from Cahaba River Road South. And we have a stall 65 South at Finley Boulevard, exit 262B. I'm Phil Carter in the Traffic Center.
If it's happening in Alabama, across the country, or around the world, we're talking about it. This is Talk 99.5.
All right, it's 3:24, Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Work Trucks bringing you the show as well, TRUXWorkTrucksLLC.com. Man, if you've got a business or any kind of organization where you need a basic, commercially designed business truck, you need to get down to Work Trucks. They've got these pre-owned that have been brought in from over off the lease market, so they've been gently used, and then they don't even trust that. They go buy these trucks that look brand new with low miles, but they come back and do a 125-point shakedown and make sure everything's right. Then they put them on the lot, and it's the whole thing. Box trucks always in my mind walk across the lot as every time I've been there. So if you start usually on the left side, they get the vans and the box trucks, and then as you move across, they've got pickups of every shape and size you can imagine, outfitted or not. Plain old shop trucks are outfitted with tool bodies and service bodies and ladder racks and all the things you might need for your industry done. I mean, that stuff's done. They can get you financed. They've got extended warranties. It is I say it all the night trying to appeal to your business sense. It is a turnkey place to be able to focus on what you do to get revenue in and let them handle your truck needs. Keep you outfitted. When you wear that one out, they'll take it on trade and get you another one, keep you moving. It's smart business. It's Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com. All right, real quick on the map wars. South Carolina had a state senator to block their efforts to redraw their maps. Actually, it was a couple of them. And now the governor of that state, McMaster, is saying he's going to call a special session that has to focus on this. So they tried to procedurally block it. Over in Mississippi, you had the governor over there decided he was just going to call off special session. He wasn't going to get into it. They've only got one district. And to be honest with y'all, when I look at, I know Mississippi relatively well. When I look at the black district in Mississippi, it fits. I actually think that's a district that's contiguous, that represents its constituency, that's not drawn in a crazy way. It follows the Mississippi River, and it comes across and goes back up north. It is, it's West Mississippi. If you ever been over there, it's West Mississippi. That is a situation where I believe those districts are okay. It doesn't mean, the Supreme Court ruling didn't mean every district that has a black representative is poorly drawn, but some clearly are. And some are poorly drawn even if they don't have anything to do with race all over this country, particularly in Illinois. They just draw those districts where they can get advantage. And none of this is new, despite people flopping on the floor and flailing around and pretending that we're back to Jim Crow and all this nonsense. That's just bull squeeze. Every state in the country goes through this all the time, and we're doing it again. Now, Alabama has left itself in alerts. By the way, I understand Georgia may now be calling a special session after dragging its feet. Georgia looked like it wanted to play disinterested, but the heat from folks here on the ground is pretty intense. And it's because we're in this national battle. With the Democrats have already burned everything down they can with districting in states they control, and then they use lawsuits to get into states they couldn't control and get those states to be forced to draw Democrat districts for them, and that game's over. And so now to take that back, these Republicans have got to get off their ass. Here in Alabama, they took the lazy route. They took the cowardly, lazy route that's going to get them in a different situation. And here's the scenario. This Bobby Singleton, Democrat, black Democrat, has filed a suit for an appellate court to throw the 23 map out again. I'm with him. The 23 map sucks for two reasons. The Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional. A previous court said it was drawn punitively with race as a factor. So they could both be right in this case, which would mean those lazy bastards down in Montgomery should have thrown all the districts out and started over to begin with and not defaulted back to a district that was automatically going to get them into court. Their strategy was, this is how dumb they were with this strategy. I don't know who the legal advisor is for the governor. She's got several. But this was the genius thinking down there. Well, we've already passed this district, so this one would be easier with this 6-1 map. This one would be easier. We don't want to get drug into court again. You've already been drug into court. The litigants already know the arguments about the lines in the 6-1 map. If you'd have changed it back to scratch using a constitutional standard where you can't get accused either way, you'd have a better chance of surviving any kind of challenge, which is going to come anyway. And yes, the Democrats, Rachel Maddow, and the people on CNN are going to talk bad about you. They're probably going to call you a Klan member. You got to learn to deal with that in life, son. Suck it up and do the right thing. Don't worry about that. So here we go. We're going to wind up in another special session because of another court case. You watch what I'm saying. Back in a minute.
Count on Talk 99.5 to keep you informed. Download our app. Listen live at talk995.com or tell your smart speaker to play Talk 99.5.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
All the economic indicators nowadays are that this is going to be one heck of a year in the economy. Based on every sign that's available. If you're in business and you're planning on growing and you're going to need some space, I'm telling you, reach out to All American Metals and let them help you plan that project as you grow and prosper this year. You can't beat the value of a steel building, especially in commercial production. So whether you just need warehouse space or you're building out a retail application, or if you have another need for a building or any kind of square footage, All American can do the design work. They can help you with a stamped set of plans to get everything done for that project, which will help you with your zoning and financing. And then you're off to the races. You'll be impressed at how quickly that building comes together and goes vertical when you work with our friends over in the Bessemer Hueytown area at All American Metals. It's aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com.
This report is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You think a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt is the worst that could happen until you get in a crash. Suddenly, a ticket doesn't seem so bad. Click it, or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Well, we have a wreck on 280 East before Riverview Road. We have stop-and-go traffic from Cahaba River Road South. And we have a stall 65 South at Finley Boulevard, exit 262B. I'm Phil Carter in the Traffic Center.
Get ready for Talk 99.5's 10-year anniversary celebration and annual Jawbone Jam coming up Friday, May 15th at Iron City.
It's brought to you by the Knowles Group and features the music of Brother Kane, Stone Horses, and Cattle.
Purchase your tickets now through Ticketmaster or go to IronCityBM.com. Hang out with the entire Talk 99.5 staff.
And keep listening for a chance to win tickets to our Jawbone Jam, too.
Don't miss this night of fantastic music and fun during the 10th anniversary Jawbone Jam at Iron City, May 15th with Talk 99.5.
All right, y'all, Michelson Laser Vision next up here on the show. If you are in glasses or contacts, don't ignore me right now. Some of y'all are blowing me off. They're like, he's doing an ad. I'm just going to ride down the road right now. Listen to me. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It really is, to get out of those glasses and contacts and not be dealing with that all the time. It sucks. Today I was looking at, the only thing I will wear nowadays are readers on occasion. I keep them loosely by in like low light situations. In other words, I've got a pair here in the studio. Hold them up to the camera. I keep them around, but I really don't need them unless certain situations. Late at night, my eyes get tired. I might need them up close to read. Or if I'm in a restaurant trying to sign that bill, sometimes I can't read the numbers. It's just those occasions. That's a nice trade-off. And I chose that type vision. They could have done both near and far vision for me. Ask them about it and see what's best for you. But it was great having that out of my life. You see how these have got electrical tape on them where I taped them up. Glasses are a pain in the ass, even little readers. They're always breaking, getting smudged. Get that out of your life and do it with Michelson Laser Vision. It's a legendary practice. They're just the leading edge of all the technology. They got more experience than anybody because they brought the first laser to Alabama, so nobody can catch that, especially not these fly-by-night pop-up discount things. Don't just go to Michelson. UAB Highlands, downtown Birmingham, not on the main campus, a little bit off from the main campus, so it's so easy to get in and out. And you'll just appreciate the Michelson family, that team around them. They're going to take care of you. It's MichelsonLaserVision.com, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All right, one thing I meant to get into, I strayed in my mind, I got off onto some other stuff, was this thing at the top of the hour with 1819 News about this dirty pack that is in the state sending out mailers and putting up ads that's actually gambling interest that'll create a fake pack name. And I went through this because Tuberville was being drugged by another similar phony group. I never did trace where the money came from. But Tuberville's not even really in a competitive race right now. That could get that way in the fall. I doubt it, but there'll be money spent. And others, so I think it was 8 House and Senate candidates here in the state have asked for a cease and desist. They're going after the PAC itself for false allegations. And so it's dirty. It's a dirty thing. The gambling interest, and Mo Brooks, to his credit, has been raising the alarm bells up in the Huntsville area about this stuff. These outside groups can take the PAC system and hide their money and hide the source behind the messaging, deceive voters, and we need to do something about all that. I'm not saying strict limits, but in most state races, there are no campaign limits. The only reason you need a PAC, the reason you need it on the federal levels, you've maxed out to a candidate, but you want to further support them so you can contribute to a PAC that's not supposed to coordinate, but they do anyway. It's a dirty system. And it's why we got this crappy government that we have right now, because outside money interests that do not want competition from the state of Alabama are pouring money after money to control the legislature. So are the teachers' unions. So are the same old groups that have always run the place down in Montgomery. And they're doing it again through this nasty setup and system. And you just can't believe what's in your mailbox. You can't believe, I'm telling you, it's gotten to the point now where we have a human instinct to believe negative things about political people. It's just human instinct. We have a low opinion of them to start with. You don't even want to have to go vote some of the time. Some decent people do run for office, but everything can get exaggerated. So our default is, boy, if you heard something bad, you're just going to kind of first believe it until you hear otherwise. We've got to change our thinking about that stuff. And here's why. Not that they're not some bad folks that need to get called out, but when you see a negative ad, most likely nowadays, almost all of them are just not true at all. They're not even close. They're wild exaggerations. Some of the stuff this Catherine Robertson, running for Attorney General, has said about her opponent in the race, Jay Mitchell, he's a guy I know, and I'm probably going to vote for Jay for sure. And so I'm not defending him because of that reason. I just know she's had to pull ads down. PACs associated with them had to pull ads down because they were lies, straight falsehoods. They think the voters are too dumb to know any better and will react emotionally because the negative attacks are effective. And it's our fault. Let me repeat that. I'm talking to you driving your car and me talking on the radio. It's our fault for allowing this kind of stupid stuff to work. We tend to believe it. It moves the numbers. Everybody winds up hating everybody on the ballot before you go to the polls. It suppresses turnout. These people know what they're doing. It's a rotten system that we have, and it's why we're getting rotten government. It's why right now, in the midst of this fight nationwide in the country, let me just talk to the Republicans. you're not getting the leadership out of your Republicans almost anywhere in state government that you should be getting in this moment because they don't believe it. They don't mean it. All that crap in your mailbox you get every day about how great they are, none of it's true. Even the positive stuff is not true. Anyway, that I had to get that off my chest. I'm frustrated. Dishonest elections are going to lead to more dishonest government. That's just true. Jeff's in Chelsea. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, got a question for you, Leland.
Yeah, man.
For years, I had been pretty good at going to campaign finance reports and tracing money. You know, in the old days, they had everything handwritten, and you could find everybody that made a contribution, where they're from and their address, and you can trace it to the PACs and then follow the money, who gave money to the PACs. Well, I had a local legislator, and he's mailing out a mailer every day in the mail, on TV, internet ads and everything else. He's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for a House seat that he's in danger of losing because he voted against IVF.
Yeah.
But the problem is I went to the Secretary of State site, and they've changed all that stuff, and it's all electronic computerized, and I could not find a place anywhere to get to the real source of who's giving money to these campaigns. They gave just a general figure of how much money come from different areas or whatnot. Am I looking in the wrong place, or have they changed that to hide everything?
Well, they definitely are going to scheme the system. I'm not exactly sure what you're looking at. It's hard for me to answer that question directly. But the rules can be the same. The reporting requirements can change. The formatting can change. Access can change over the years. I, too, have gone down that road, both working on campaigns and back when I was reporting, trying to trace things down. It's a legalized system for money laundering is all it is. Once you go 2 layers back into the PAC system, it's hard to make a direct source to the original source of the money. And some of that can be done with timelines. In other words, say somebody dumps 50 grand into a PAC the same day as 50 grand goes out to a candidate for whatever, or to an ad buy. The new way they're doing it is instead of the PACs, in the early days of PACs, big donors would give to the PAC would give to the candidate. Slowly, the principal campaign committees of the candidates are not really running their own ad campaigns anymore. The PACs are doing all the ads. So there's even more deniability if something's nasty and has to get pulled, or somebody wants to go over the top. There used to be a system for that where you'd create an independent PAC and it would do all the attacking, but now it's almost exclusively on the PAC side because they're, again, the contribution limits, the rules are different, the way to hide the money is different. And then you got PAC to PAC transfers where by the time you have PACs give to PACs that give to other PACs and then make an ad buy or give to a candidate, the money is unprovable. And they do that on purpose. So I guess to answer your question, it's absolutely designed to obfuscate the sources of the money.
All right. You know, the Republicans have been in charge during all of this, and they're the ones that changed it where we can't see nothing.
Yeah,
seems like exactly their own side's working against us.
I had such high hopes in 2010, and I've been utterly let down. Nothing has changed down there. It has not changed.
Yeah, all right. Appreciate it, Leland.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, they'll change the rules, but then come up with a side way to get around all that just to look good. And it's as corrupt as it's ever been, and it's as disappointing as it's ever been. The quality of people has not changed either. Let me just say that. It's not too broad a brush. There's some really good people involved, but they're outnumbered. And they know they are. They'll tell you they are. I've talked to them all the time. They get frustrated too, but they're completely outnumbered. And while I'm on this sanctimonious soapbox over all this stuff, let me throw the media under the bus as well in general. Their abdication to hold government accountable on these matters, on financial shenanigans, only when it's to their advantage. If you're a liberal publication, you're only looking into the finances of people you don't support. It goes back to the fraud story that we talked about earlier today with J.D. Vance and all the money that's being stolen from the Center for Medicaid Services and CMS and all these big multi-trillion-dollar funds in the federal government. All that wasted money. It's not just that Tim Walz wasn't paying attention. The media wasn't paying attention. They didn't have the professional dignity to go and just take a camera and knock on doors like that Nick Shirley did. That kid ran circles around every investigative reporter in the country. There are very few people left that take pride in legitimate flipping over rocks and trying to get to the bottom of what both parties are doing. Sometimes it's a codependency where one's corruption is covered by the other's incompetence or vice versa, and the media doesn't even look at it anymore. They're too busy having name-calling contests. Let me give you an example of that, and then I got to get the break. This happened today. Today. You can go back and watch the news conference yourself. You ready? So here's J.D. Vance, Dr. Oz, and all of them calling a news conference on fraud, suspending the hospice program, calling out the hundreds of billions of dollars that are coming straight out of our pockets and into the pockets of corruption, continuing their investigations. Big, big story. And any other time in this country's history, that's a big story. So they get to the Q&A. It's a news conference, so they get it up news conference style. They're standing up there, do their little speeches, getting ready for questions. Immediately, as they go into the questioning, you know what the media turned around and focused on? I think J.D. Vance got 4, I may have counted 5 questions about a rivalry between him and Marco Rubio. So here are reporters assigned to cover one of the biggest fraud scandals in this country's history, and they ask a few nitpicky questions about that. But their real story today, their idea for showing up was, we need to get Rubio and Vance to start hating each other and having a rivalry because they sense these two are going to be in the next election. They're playing politics with their publications, with their TV programs, ahead of the presidential election with 2 personalities and trying to do that at the news conference. And I'll be almost willing to bet the ones that went to cover the fraud will focus more on this phony rivalry story, which, of course, both Rubio and Vance are dismissing. It's not there. They want to manufacture that because it could be that they become rivals, but not yet. They're still in the first year and a half of an administration and very, very busy. In fact, one of them is standing there trying to point out fraud in this country, and all they want to focus in on is the personality stuff. I guess it gets more clicks than somebody stealing billions of dollars. It was embarrassing to watch them go on and on about that. Like, did y'all just hear what they just told y'all? And so the failure of the professionalism in that industry is a big part of this. Here's the good news, though. You don't need to be a credentialed reporter at CNN with your pass and a lot of hairspray and people telling you how great you are and an agent to be effective in this country anymore. You can be a 20-something-year-old with a cell phone camera who gives a damn. And you can do more effective, more impactful reporting than those a-holes on that whole network. Craig's in Gardendale. What's up, Craig?
Not much. 2 things. First of all, none of the other networks like CNN, they didn't cover that today. Also, what interests me is when all this fraud is eliminated, what will that do to the numbers? You know, like in Minnesota, they said there were so many autistic children. Well, that goes into a national account. So I would hope when we get off, if we ever get all this cleaned up, to see what the actual percentage of kids have autism and all these other diseases that they've been faking to get this extra money.
Yeah, I mean, they're in that line of thinking. So today they had to suspend the hospice program. They're not going to allow any new hospice licenses until they can get a handle on where the money's going. That ultimately, you got to think that hurts when somebody that needs to be in that business legitimately, or sad patients at the end of their life that need services. All that gets disrupted because of the fraud, because of these greedy bastards that can't keep their hands off other people's money.
And I believe they shut down 800, if I'm not mistaken, and they said only 20 people have complained. And the question was like, if your business got shut down, wouldn't you call somebody if you were legit?
They went to, they did 400 of those in L.A. alone, and nobody complained. Nobody called anybody and said, "What is happening, my friend? Where did my business go? No, they didn't do anything. They probably got on a plane and went back to wherever the hell they came from.
I just wish people would wake up and listen, because again, if we held a vote tomorrow, 40-something% would still vote Democrat. And hey, people, give up on party and just look for the country and your children. Of course, most people don't care about their children anymore, but we're preparing our children's future. They're not little paychecks; they're children. Let's take care of them. Thank you, sir.
Craig. I believe the children are the future. Spank their ass and let them lead the way. Is that how that song goes? I'm a terrible Whitney Houston. That's back in a minute.
Leland, live on Talk 99.5.
You just don't know how much difference a Royal Bedding handcrafted mattress can make. I love my mattress so much. I bought one for my son, and we've had 2 generations of Kubelik sleeping on Royal Bedding mattresses. Now it's 3 generations of Kubeliks. Talk about my bed so often. My dad just bought one, and he loves his as well. Drop in and see the good folks who have helped 3 generations of Kubeliks enjoy great sleep night after night. Royal Bedding on Highway 31 next to the big U-Haul store. Royal Bedding on Highway 31 in Pelham.
Alabama's law enforcement leaders put their lives on the line every single day. They need an attorney general who has their back. Catherine Robertson has spent a decade on the front lines of Alabama's toughest battles. She doesn't bend, she doesn't back down, and she doesn't play politics. As attorney general, she'll make sure violent offenders are locked up and stay locked up. That's why sheriffs and police chiefs from every corner of this state are proudly standing behind Catherine Robertson for attorney general.
This is Catherine Robertson. I am honored to earn the trust of law enforcement. I've spent my career fighting for Alabama families, and I'm just getting started. I'll stand with President Trump to deport violent illegals and ensure our law enforcement has the support they need. Because in Alabama, if you commit a crime, you pay for it. No excuses. Visit CatherineForAG.com to join the fight.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 50063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
This report is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You think a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt is the worst that could happen. Until you get in a crash. Suddenly, a ticket doesn't seem so bad. Click it, or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
We have a crash on Highway 31 northbound at 3rd 4th Avenue. The right-hand lane is blocked. We're seeing stop-and-go traffic now from University Boulevard. We have a crash in St. Clair County, Main Street at Old Springville Road. I'm Phil Carter in the Traffic Center.
On air or online,
I know I can trust them every time.
we're Alabama's #1 source for breaking news. Talk 99.5.
Man, Tommy over at Huey Tampon still got plenty of gun selection, and y'all can pop out there anytime you want, no matter what the season, and find good value over there on the hunting side of the counter, the ammo, all the accessories. Sound suppression's a huge deal there. They've still got a massive room full of sound suppression with great values. That's still a rage in the industry. Hand carry, pre-owned stuff. I bought just in the last, 8 months, a couple guns from him already. I just couldn't beat the value. And he's all, every now and then he'll call it with a deal, and I want to go over there before I tell you all about it and get one before they run out. But I'll always tell you about it, and that's why they're on the show. And one of the other things over at the pawn shop, because it is a pawn license, is he'll get deals on other items that are amazing. And one of those is these Larimore trailers built here in Alabama. These are smaller single axle ramps, open trailers that you can haul anything on. Sheets of plywood, stuff at the store, garbage, four-wheelers, lawnmowers. There's always something that ain't going to fit in your truck or it's just too difficult to load onto a truck or in a minivan. Y'all get one of these things. Great deals starting at $14.99. Well built. When it's Alabama built and you're right down the road from the builder, that's a little peace of mind too, the quality of your trailer. And, of course, he'll finance it for you. Tommy and the team will finance these things. So get by there and grab one. Take your ball, take your hits, and be ready to go. Huey Tampon, Brook Lane Drive. Y'all go and see them. All right, here's Ron in Hoover. Let's get another phone call in here. What's up, Ron?
Hey, Leland, I'm calling back from yesterday. I think you cut me off because I was there was so much background noise. And
we have that. That's okay. We have that sometimes. It's okay. What you got?
I was calling about the guy who was to Jared about he was in the Guard. He didn't consider himself a veteran. Well, let me just say this. I'm a 20-year active duty retired veteran with 2 tours of duty in Vietnam and also Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And people that serve in the National Guard are veterans. They go through the same basic training and advanced individual training that everybody else goes through. They get called up. To go to all over the world. Think about those 2 kids that got shot in Washington, D.C. They were guardsmen, and they were called up. So, yes, they're veterans. You sign up, Guard, Reserve, whatever. You're a veteran. You should be proud of it, and we should look at them as veterans.
Yeah, I think maybe some people are just inarticulate, and I agree with you. Being a non-veteran, anybody that's willing to put that uniform on, peacetime or war, stateside or over there, Guard or not, you got my respect. I mean, it's a commitment. Sure. Even if you're just going to go drill and that's it and be ready, it's a commitment, and we appreciate that, all of it. But then you get inside the veteran community and you wind up, as is the case anyway, is sort of a ranking system. And I think the challenge – this all came up yesterday, but there's been a challenge against Barry Moore inflating his veteran status because he never really did any deployments or combat or anything like that. He pretty much did ROTC and drilled, and that's fine with me. I don't care. The problem is he's running against the Navy SEALs, so there are degrees of it, and some people think that's an issue. Jared didn't make an issue yesterday because I think, like you, he respects all service. But when you start getting into combat veteran – versus you've got stolen valor cases where people wear medals that they didn't earn or say specific things about their service that are untrue. And that's where people really do get in trouble for stuff like
that. If Barry Moore had been ordered to deploy, he probably would have.
He was in. He was in, did whatever he had to do.
You can, in Desert Storm, there was a lot of Guard and Reserve people that were over there, but they were in the Guard and Reserve for the educational benefits, and next thing they know, they're in the sand in Saudi Arabia, and they did their job.
Good point, Ron. I appreciate you calling back. Despite the phone difficulties yesterday, we got to get to the top of the hour, so let's do that back in a minute. More of your phone calls, too. We're kind of loose today. We don't have some major overbearing story to get to, so bring whatever you got. Back in a minute.
WZRR Birmingham, Talk 99.5, and Talk995.com.
1819 News.
The upcoming special primary election here in Alabama will not include the 2 Senate districts that were recently redrawn by a court order. The August special primary election will, so far, only involve the congressional districts for the state. That's because of a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling that lifted an injunction on Alabama and its congressional district map but did not include another lower court ruling that required the 2 Senate districts to be redrawn. The judge that did that was federal judge Anna Manasco, and that was following a lawsuit from plaintiffs here in the state. The court order from Manasco involves State Senate District 25 and 26. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall has filed a motion asking for the federal court to also remove this injunction on the state Senate districts. Governor Ivey says she's ready to act quickly in this area if the court does grant that motion. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A prison healthcare contractor that worked with the Alabama Department of Corrections has now filed for bankruptcy. The contract work that YesCare had with the ADOC was for $1 billion, starting in 2023 and running to 2027. YesCare was contracted to provide comprehensive health care to all of the ADOC inmates. YesCare is a company based out of Tennessee. And a New Hope man was arrested this week for making terroristic threats in the Limestone County Courthouse. 42-year-old Everett Welch called in a bomb threat to the circuit clerk's office this past Monday. I'm Andrea Tice for 1819 News on Talk 99.5.
This report is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
When life drops the unexpected, Alpha is here, resolving your claims quickly. Because clarity beats chaos every time. Get peace of mind for the journey ahead. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
Well, this collision in Central City on Highway 31 northbound at 3rd 4th Avenue has the right-hand lane blocked, and we're seeing stop-and-go traffic now from University Boulevard. We have a wreck in St. Clair County, too. Main Street at Old Springville Road. I'm Phil Carter in the Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You think a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt is the worst that could happen. Until you get in a crash. Suddenly, a ticket doesn't seem so bad. Click it. Or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Ryan, does my house look different to you?
Different how?
I don't know. Taller, shorter, slightly draftier?
Well, Damien, I can actually see into your attic from the sidewalk.
That can't be good.
Unless you're going for an open concept roof.
That's not a thing.
It becomes a thing when shingles go missing.
So what's the move here?
Free inspection, clear photos, straight answers. We'll show you exactly what's going on and fix it the right way. Hometown Roofing and Restorations, 205-984-4777 or htroofers.com.
Hi everyone, this is Ken Reeves of Retirement Max Radio and Apex Financial Group. Are you prepared for the tax storm ahead? Taxes are at a historic low, but that won't last forever. Your retirement savings could take a big hit as taxes rise. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit retirementtaxreport.com now to see how your retirement will be affected by the looming tax increases. Get ahead of the curve and protect your nest eggs before taxes increase. That's retirementtaxreport.com. Plan now, save later.
Download our app or listen live. This is Talk 99.5. Let's go. Let's go. Leland, live on your radio. Live on your radio. Birmingham's Real Talk. Talk 99.5. Talk 99.5. Live is on your radio. Leland live on your radio. Leland live on your radio. Come on. Leland live is on your radio. Leland live on your radio. Leland live on your radio. Come on. Leland live is on your radio.
404